All personnel, clear the launch platform.
All personnel, clear launch platform.
The Leaving Today podcast, the show about the news, history, and attractions of the Disneyland Resort.
Well, come on, Wendy. Let's go.
But where are we going?
To Neverland.
Neverland.
Hello, and hello. Welcome to the Leaving Today podcast, episode number 175. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, this morning, this afternoon. It is our honor to be with you. My name is Mark, one of the co-hosts here. Sitting to the right of me is the Trail Master of Puppets himself, Oogie.
Good evening. And I'm going to reissue it. I feel like I got to do it every once in a while.
Yeah.
A free t-shirt for anyone who can tell me how I got the nickname Trail Master of Puppets.
Yes.
It is out there. It has been said. Free t-shirt.
Free t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And a nice high five from me along with it. I'm going to add to it, and there's a high five for you.
Yes.
There we go.
Awesome. Hey, if you enjoy discussions about Disneyland, the Disneyland Park, the Disneyland attractions, the history of DCA as well, or Downtown Disney, this is the podcast for you. We try to keep it lighthearted. Sometimes we go a little deep. Sometimes we go off the rails, but we always kind of bring it back to what the real important stuff is, and that's the park. If this is your first time listening to us, thank you. We hope you find the water to be very warm. If this is not your first time, welcome home. Today's show is sponsored by you, the listeners. Hey, how do I do that? Simple. Thanks for asking. You can go to our site, leavingtodaypodcast.com, or go to our Instagram, Leaving Today Podcast, and click on the link tree. You can just get to our site. We have a Patreon link in there. Make it super simple: $1, $3, and $5. That can get you on the show. Plus, you get some really cool swag that you can rock. Just like Laura from Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Laura.
Hello, Laura.
From Honolulu, Hawaii. She was in the parks this week. She may be in there now, rocking the LTP gear.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, sending us a picture. Mm-hmm. That was awesome. Hope you guys...
always makes me feel good. Like, it's a happy.
Happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you want to follow the show, that's our socials, leavingtodaypodcast.com. And our Instagram. Also, we do tweet once in a while, but I'm not very good at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I tweet, but it has nothing to do with Disneyland.
Nothing to do with Disneyland. No, it has to do with everything with Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah, and SeaWorld.
Okay, so today we are going to take a look at all the projects that we know of in the Disneyland Resort. That includes DCA, and give you our thoughts about what's happening and why we're looking forward to stuff, and why we're not. Actually, I think everything that's happening, I'm looking forward to.
I can't. Nothing's coming to mind where I'm like, ooh, no.
No. I mean, there are projects that they haven't done that we want them to do, but we'll talk about that, yep. I assume. And then we have the news, of course. And then opening question. Oh, plus we had some Instagram questions as well. Not questions, but responses that we're going to get to.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Regarding Splash Mountain.
I forgot about those.
That
sweet.
where we had like the 9 rides. You got to pick one to leave.
Yeah. I didn't even do that. I looked at it and went like, oh, boy. And then I'm like, I'm going to pass.
It's all good fun.
Yeah, I know. It's all for good fun.
It's all for good fun.
I kind of, in passing when you posted it, I'm like looking at it, and I saw a couple of the comments. I'm like, oh, okay. And people are like, wait, what?
What?
No.
So tonight's opening question is something I was thinking about this past week, because our last show we talked about the demise of the Galactic Star Cruiser, and while we weren't totally happy that it failed, we sort of thought it might because the price was out, but we did come to the conclusion that I'm glad they're pushing the envelope and coming with new forms of entertainment. So my question to you is, how would you feel if they brought some of those elements into our park, namely like a dinner theater show and inside Galaxy's or Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, where you can make a reservation and it's an hour show that maybe they get that crowd involved, and every show would be different. Well, maybe they would rotate stories that you'd get a meal or a drink or a dessert or something, and it's 45 minutes or an hour, and there's some sort of Star Wars element that you have to get involved in. Would you be okay with that?
Oh yeah, I think when they were originally promoting, what they were going to do there, that was part of it.
Yeah.
And so my thought was always, and I've listened to a lot of different opinions on what happened there. And one of the opinions what I kind of agreed with was that when they came into it, they started cutting costs, and as Chapek is known to do and was known to do. And so they had these great concepts, and like, okay, well, just all the concepts that maybe weren't ready for opening on opening day, maybe they're like, okay, we'll continue to develop, and then we'll put them over there. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of the once I heard that, kind of that kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense that there would be like dinner in a theater and all that.
Oh yeah.
But then they try to expand on that, which again we've talked about it. There are many errors that we could see, but still we do give them kudos for trying to push the envelope.
For sure.
I think it was just wrought in the bad direction, but we won't rehash that.
No.
But absolutely, if they did a full-on dinner theater and they promoted that, I think that would be great. I think it'd be fun. I honestly think it would be a hot ticket. I don't think. Yeah. I mean, that being said, though, I have to qualify that with it has to be in the right timeline. That is always a qualifier. Sadly, that is always a qualifier when we're talking about Disney Star Wars right now. Yeah, is a qualifier. Disney is still at this moment in time trying to push forward with their IP. I mean, really, the sequels is Disney. The other stuff predates them. Okay?
Right.
So that I from a, how can I put it? From an corporate point of view,
yeah, I
could see why they would want to, and then also with Iger now back, I could also see from an ego point of view, why he would want to. That that is his thing. But I think if they did do that, and again did it with the idea of rotating, like we've talked about before, you want to improve Galaxy's Edge, unlock the timeline,
unlock it,
and then flip them around, from like in the early morning, do First Order or whatever, however they want to schedule it, and then just so the people and the cast members and everybody can still stay within the character. It's just different.
It's just different.
Yeah. So I think it would be fantastic. I think it would be great. I think if they did that, they have to go to. And it could be my personal bias, but I think it's backed up by many basically a lot of money. Yeah. It would have to be either prequel or original.
Sure.
Sequel trilogy just didn't bring it like those did.
I agree.
Not to be a jerk, it's the reality of it.
I agree. Yeah. And, Disneyland has a storied history of doing these types of things where they've always had some sort of entertainment-themed dinner or lunch, like, I'm not going to be rattling off all these things, but like Golden Horseshoe Review was great for decades.
Yeah, they had dueling pianos for a while. Dueling pianos, which was great.
Tahitian Terrace with the luau and things like that. I mean, I think people would. I mean, I speak for me. I would pay whatever it was to go for half an hour or for like a dinner and get involved in some sort of Star Wars thing.
It'd be great. I think it'd be a blast. You'd have families coming in droves. Because,
you would.
I mean, think about the experience for the kids.
Yep. That would be awesome.
Not only for us, Star Wars nerds, but the kids.
The kids. Yeah, it's all for the kids.
It's for the children.
It's for the children.
Yeah. But anyway. Yeah.
But anyway. Okay, so that was the opening question. Now, I did ask the other day about your favorite memories of Splash Mountain.
Oh, yeah, I want to hear these. I mean, I posted mine on the day it closed, and I've told the story before, but I will tell it again. If you guys want to hear it again, I'll tell it again. But go for it. Listeners always go first.
Listeners go first.
Always.
Okay. Margie said, betting my dad $1 that I'd ride it, and it just opened. But I screamed and screamed and cried the whole ride, and I got $20 instead.
Who's that?
Margie. Yeah, she's the one that came to the
Yeah. No, I know. I know who she is.
Tar Helium said, back in the early 90s, it was Flash Mountain, and I saw many awesome sights.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are some people thinking, what is Flash Mountain?
Yeah, no, for the kids, it's not for the kids. For us adults, we're all going to know what that means.
Yes, a little wink nudge.
Yeah, little nod, wink, nudge, yep.
And I Morales 68 said, the planning of what pose you're going to do while coming down. That's what his memory was.
You know, but that's almost any of them with the camera. But that one is a pretty good one.
It is.
Because you kind of have to organize that one because of how you are in the float,
Yes.
Because it's a log ride, and you got to kind of like, you're going to go this way, you're going to go that way. And
Yeah.
we've done that before.
We've done it before.
You lean right, left, and we'll go, yeah.
You know the Walt Disney World? Yeah, the Walt Disney World version has the logs with 2 seaters
Yeah.
side by side.
I know.
That would be fun.
I think it'd be fun, but I like that one being single, just because I can duck.
You can duck.
Patrick, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, totally right. Yeah.
Yep.
Laura, who's in the park right now, said long nights working the attraction till closing with my friends.
Oh, that's cool.
That is a great story.
Yeah, how many, when you talk about, so the question I'm going to have for Laura now is like, what are the handful of memories that you have of, guests coming off that attraction and maybe your favorite reaction of a guest? Like, because I'm sure, because we've all seen it and we've all been in that moment where we're a little hesitant or you see the people. I mean, hello, I'll retell the famous story of Jess's dad, who stepped on it, stepped right off of it, flipped it the bird, and walked off.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm curious from cast member point of view, is like, what is your favorite reaction, like, going onto it and coming off? Because those are always classic. I mean, most of them are I'm sure, going to be laughing, but there's got to be that unique one that sticks in your brain.
For sure, right? Yeah. Okay, we've got a few more. Skittle Muffin said, I have so many fond memories of Splash. My daughter was right on the edge of being tall enough to go on the ride, so a CM checked us at the very start of the line. We were good. Another CM checked up before we got to the indoor part and said we were good. We got to the ride, and the CM said she was too short. She handled it like a trooper, and we got out of line because if one of us wasn't riding, none of us were. We ran into the CM at the start of the first line that said we were good and said you were really dry. What happened? We told him, and he said he was so sorry and gave us a stack of those passes they used to give out when you were too short. He gave us so many, we still have one left, and that was 6 years ago.
Very cool.
Well, later that day, we used one of those passes to get to the front of the line and got right on. I wish I could post a picture of my terrified 3-year-old. She's now 9 and loves Splash. So does her dad. Yeah, that's awesome.
That is great. That's a good story.
All right, Jose said, last time I rode Splash Mountain, I had a fast pass that was no good because by the time I went, it was broken. I went back at the end of the day, and I had the chance to ride it at night. Plus, it was so empty, I rode by myself and the whole boat, and they even let me ride again without leaving the boat. I never thought that was going to be my last ride, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, that is a good story.
Yes. Sasquatch said, every ride, every time my kids get to ride it. Everything. I love everything. Okay. Yeah. The music, the smells, the screams, the refreshment. We will miss it dearly, but we love the Princess and the Frog, so we're excited. Yep. Awesome.
Yep.
Christine HM1313, she comes in here once in a while.
Yep.
My favorite memory is how soaked I got one time. I was dripping all the way back to the front of the Haunted Mansion, and after I walked back...
We've been there.
Yes.
Oh, we've been there.
Under the train bridge, past the building doorway, I wrung out the bottom of my shirt. A woman in the queue saw me do this and said, no way I'm getting that wet. And she got out of the line when she saw me. I love sitting in front and getting soaked, so I thought it was hilarious to scare someone out of the line. That is awesome. Yeah.
Oh, man, that is a great story.
That is a great story.
That is a good one.
Garrett Bear has the last one. He wrote kind of a novel, which is good. Let's see. He said, let's see. Hearing the screams of the guests falling into the briar patch all the way from New Orleans Square. Mm-hmm. Yes. The odd but inviting contrast of burnt orange rock work against the bright green of nearby trees.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the bushes and foliage all over the mountain. The silly yet bright and cheery music inviting you to leave your worries behind and embrace your laughing place.
Yep.
The smell of the grass and landscaping in Disneyland water, sitting on a wet plastic seat that hundreds of people today have sat on and stepped on, but you don't care because this is going to be awesome. Absolutely right. Clickety clack ride lifts, bringing you higher and higher on the mountain with only one way down.
Yep.
Silly dark ride scenes of foxes and bears chasing rabbits. The small drops that happen in the dark that get you just as wet as a big drop. The
ones that because they caught you off guard. You're not prepared for it, and you're like, "Whoa, I forgot." How many times do you get on that and you completely forget about those, and you forget, and then you get hit by it, and you're like, "Oh man, I forgot."
And the water just comes at you from the right hand side.
Oh,
like, oh crap!
Oh man, and here comes the wave into the boat. Yes. And you're like, "Okay, well, there we go."
And then that final huge lift that slowly brings you to the top of the mountain, and the thrill and speed of sliding down a huge splash while the whole log screams and laughs together. Dang. Rest in peace, Splash. Thanks for all the memories.
Yep.
Awesome, Gary Bear.
I still remember how many... in my mind as he's taught, like, as you're reading that, he's talking about how you're coming to the final drop, and that look... because with the mist coming and you're going to the briar and you don't know, but you know.
Yeah.
For the first time rider, you have no idea what's happening. For us who had been on it, so many times, we know. But even then, you're like, you have that moment of like, that you take that deep breath and you hold it because you know what's going to happen because you're going to just expel all that energy with the yell.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Going down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, Splash Mountain for me was one of those ones that, was never a must ride. In fact, I looking back, my last ride was 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So clearly it was never a must for me, but that doesn't change the fact that it had the uniqueness of it, is something that is going to be missed at that level. I mean, I don't anticipate them changing the main mechanics of the ride or the main railing of the ride or anything. I think it's going to be a skin change.
Sure.
So that's going to still remain.
Yes.
But the other part of it that, for me, was what made it so special is because of the animatronics that they brought over from America Sings.
Yep.
And I've told the story before, and the reason why that one holds a special place in my heart, that attraction will always hold a special place in my heart because it was something that we did as a family every time, and my mom would sit there and sing along and clap along, and still some of the most fondest memories of my childhood growing up was that attraction. So having that transplanted over, so I had that mix of nostalgia with adventure and excitement. And so that, for me, that, all those things are why, what Splash Mountain is for me.
Yeah.
And then my final ride, being, such a great one.
Yeah.
I think it was a good way to send her off.
For sure.
For me, yeah.
Yep. All right. That was good.
Yep.
Oh, wait a minute. Shoot. I had another question, too.
That one.
So before we get to the news, I had another question about... I posted 9 rides in a cube here. Big Thunder, Space Mountain, Incredicoaster, Guardians of the Galaxy, Disneyland Railroad, Soaring Over the World, Indy, Haunted Mansion, and Pirates. One has to go. Which one and why? Ooh. Okay. Christine said, Soaring Around the World.
Yep.
It passed me off that... Oh, she must say, it pissed me off that they... CG'd almost all of it, but didn't fix the bending problem. It's all computer generated, so why didn't they get it corrected? What, you want to say something to that?
No. I will let you finish, and I'll give my 2 cents, but I fully agree with you.
Oh, yeah, she said pissed. See, okay. First Prime Alpha, Guardians. I'm not a fan of drops, so this was an easy pick for me.
Oh, man, no.
I hear the theming is amazing, so I hate to lose, but I'll never ride it. And then First Prime Alpha said, then Marcus said same. I rode it once just to see it again and never will again. Marcus?
I'm going to go out there and my good buddy Eric, okay, his last trip he has the same thing with,
yeah,
drop and everything.
Right.
And he texts me, he's like, well, I'm going to go jump on. I'm like, good.
I like that dude a lot.
Yeah, Eric's a good cat.
Yeah.
I've known him for...
Even longer than Jess.
Yeah.
Longer than Hilton.
Yeah. Oh, God. Chew, remind me when you hear this. How long have we known each other? Dude, I don't even remember. Anyway, because I know he's going to hear it. But he texts me, and he's like, and then he's like, wow, that was really good.
Yeah.
And he wound up going, how many times did he go on? Like 2 or, I think he went on 2 more times,
Yeah.
maybe 3 more times. Like,
Yeah.
I got to go right again. I'm like, yeah.
Everybody that goes on it who's afraid of it wants to go on it again.
Oh, my God, that's amazing.
Yes.
Remember when was it Ariel that didn't want to go?
Yes.
And didn't she wind up liking it? Because I remember Jess was like being the coach, like,
Yeah.
I got your mama bearing her all the way, like,
Yep,
it's going to
yep.
be okay. I got your hand.
Yep.
It was really cool to watch, but I don't know how she feels about it.
Well, she might be the one exception. She won it once. I think we had to promise her something afterwards, but she did it. But I don't pressure her to do it anymore.
No.
But anyways, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so speaking of Jess, her aunt said pirates. Yep.
But why?
She said, "I used to love it. Not fond of the changes. Not fond of the changes they have made."
Yeah, Save the Redhead. We have it. We have the
Yes.
paraphernalia that says that, by the way.
All right, so they would never go to Pirates. Okay, Laura says Soren is my pick simply because I can't see the rest of them go. I like Soren, but the rest of the attractions are must-haves. They are.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of Ariel,
Guardians.
Guardians of the Galaxy laugh. Don't love to drop it all. But she liked the Tower of Terror theming better.
Well,
That's a good answer.
no, not a bad answer. But
She's not wrong or right. I mean,
no, it's an opinion that I don't agree with, only because I think the theming. The theming was better for Tower.
yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to argue that. The drop sequence, and if you don't like the drops, then you're not going to like. Then we're going to be at odds. But
Sure.
the drop sequences for Guardians is way better.
It is. It's totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I agree with Ariel. The theming was a lot better.
Yeah, I can't argue that one.
Right.
I can't argue that.
Gary Bear says, I don't want to lose any of them, but if I have to, and you do, I'm going to have to let the Incredicoaster go. The Railroad, Pirates, Space, Haunted Mansion, and Big Thunder are untouchable. Indy and Soarin' are modern classics. That leaves only Guardians and Incredicoaster, and I'm not a coaster guy, so buy Incredicoaster. Laugh out loud. Fine.
Wow.
I don't mind. I love Incredicoaster.
Yep.
Okay, if one of them has to go, this is Tar Helium. If one of them has to go, California Screaming it is. Not that it's bad, but the rest of them are so much better since it's just a generic roller coaster.
Well, kind of yeah and kind of no.
Yeah.
I mean, I've made the comment before that when it was the Screamin', I enjoyed it.
Sure, I
So
enjoy it.
the reskinning was like, I don't care.
I don't care, yeah.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't be Criticoaster for me. I know which one mine is now.
Okay, last one is Angel Fallen 864.
Hey, Angel Falling.
Hello.
Yeah.
Incredicoaster, too scary for me.
Dude, getting shot by the seat of your pants at 0 to 60 in like 2 or 3 seconds. How can you not?
Yeah.
Love that? Oh my God, I love that. Maybe that's why I drive too fast.
It could be. So what would you pick?
It'd be Soren.
Yeah.
And basically it's a combination of both of the reasons why they gave. One, the biggest one was Christine, right?
Yeah.
I agree with her 100%.
All the CG and everything.
Oh yeah, I mean they could have corrected. It's bad when you're looking at that. The other part of it is, and it is often come up when the randomizer decides to show its ugly head. When that one comes up on there, it's always the same thing for me. Soarin' over California was just better.
Yeah.
It was just better.
Yeah.
And probably because, born and raised Californian.
Yeah.
It's getting hard to say all the time, but I'm not going to go there. But anyway, moving on. But the majority of the places on there, I'm like, I've been there. So I have more of a personal connection. Plus, it just looked better.
Yep. It looked better.
Right. So that is the other thing. And the other ones, no, you can't get rid of any of those.
No.
There's no freaking way.
No.
There is no freaking way.
Yeah, I guess Soarin' for me as well. I think I'm leaning towards less simulator-esque attractions. I mean, I love the concept, but I want something practical. I want to be something that it does move, but it doesn't move the way I want it to do it. And I don't know. Honestly, I would hate to see it go, but since we're playing the game, yeah, I would choose Soren.
You can't complain. You started the game, man.
I did, but I couldn't. I mean, it's process of elimination. I couldn't
Correct.
get rid of anything else.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, let's go over to the news.
You listen to me now. You are talking about things that you do not understand.
Okay. First news, Adam. New Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Droid Depot Cutlery set available in Disneyland. No, I'm not making that up. I have joked about having the LTP Cutlery set for years.
Yeah, why haven't we done that?
Just because I thought it was a joke, but no. For $20, you can get a set that includes a fork, a knife, and a spoon, and it comes in a small fabric bag with the Droid Depot logo stamped on it. The handles have the Droid Depot logo stamped into them along with a few colorful dots below it. The same design and logo are stamped on each piece of the cutlery set. What do you think of that, Udi?
I want it. I want it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I want it. If when we go to the park, I'm walking in. I'm walking out.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's kind of silly, but
Oh yeah, no,
but
I'm totally fine. That.
You are.
Yeah.
You know what would be good if you could get one for your brother for Christmas or I don't know. Do you and he exchange gifts?
Yeah.
Okay, this or your nephew or something.
No, I won't give it to my nephews because they may go off and stab each other with it.
But
no, I'm kidding.
I assume it's metal, right? It doesn't say what it is.
It looks like it'd be metal.
Yeah.
I will tell you this: if it isn't some kind of a metal, I'm going to be pissed. But I will still give them $20.
I think it is metal.
Yeah.
And it looks kind of cool. Not my jam.
I like the color and I like the graphics on it. It's cool. And then, okay, so one of the reasons why I would get it to be real is
Yes, please be real.
because of how I'm working. You know my schedule now.
Yeah.
These would be mine.
Oh.
Like I would take them with me.
Oh,
These would be my travel.
Then you're about to buy two because you might lose one.
No, I won't. I'm not.
Ooh, what if someone takes it?
Oh, then they're getting stabbed with whatever I have left.
But no one in your crew would take.
No,
your
none of
color.
them.
Okay.
They're like my brothers. We'd punch each other and be like, give it back, and it'd be over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I joked about the LTP cutlery set.
I know, right?
Maybe we should get one.
That's what I'm kind of thinking right now.
Okay, all right. Next news item: Pooh Corner partially closed off. Pressed penny machine remains following the closure of Splash Mountain at Disneyland Park. Construction on Tiana's Bayou Adventure has now impacted nearby Pooh Corner as construction walls surround the back of the store. Earlier this week, the Disneyland iteration of Splash Mountain permanently closed. That was last week. Almost immediately, construction walls were erected around the area as it transitions to become Tiana's Bayou Adventure. The construction has now reached nearby Pooh Corner. What may be the last Splash Mountain souvenir you can get in Disneyland can be found right here. The middle machine sells Splash Mountain pressed pennies. It is unclear how long Splash Mountain themed pressed pennies will remain in the machine. So they wasted no time getting walls up there. I mean, almost the next day, they had walls around Splash Mountain, the signs off, and that sign's probably going to go to the archives. And
I hope.
Yeah. Oh, it has to be. Nothing like that stuff's going to be destroyed. But I was looking at pictures of outside Splash Mountain. I just had forgotten how unique and cool it was out there with all the rock work and the statues and
Down that corner.
yeah.
Like
holy crap, there was some really nice theming that I personally just very rarely see because we don't go down the Pooh Corner too often.
No, you don't.
I hope they retain some of those things.
Well, you know that is a. Weren't we talking to Jay about it last episode? Like, what are they going to do with that area? And he made a very valid point about Pooh needs to remain at some level.
Yeah.
And I can see this point of view, but I don't know if I fully agree with that point of view. I mean, I do. It's so. I don't know. I feel like you either won't fully theme that area, or you're going to upset people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you don't fully theme that over to Tiana's Okay, let me make this caveat though. We don't know exactly how the whole Tiana's thing is going to look.
No.
Because it's a Bayou adventure, right?
It is.
Bayou might still feel into that kind of thing.
Critters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we may have been overthinking that. Now,
Probably.
Maybe. So that may still fit.
If it's any indication, Disneyland Railroad and Mark Twain have already updated their spiel.
Yeah, I heard that.
And
Not a fan of it.
But they refer to it as Critter Country.
Yeah.
So maybe they are keeping that as Critter Country.
And maybe they are. And like I said, I hadn't thought about that. And once Jay brought that up, I'm like, that is a really good point that Pooh needs to remain. Because we did
Sure.
we had kind of talked about it in passing, but I don't think we put enough weight into it and really enough thought into that. So Pooh is integral into Disney.
Yeah.
He really is. And so he's right. A presence does need to remain.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't think of another place that they would put him than there. That
No.
would fit. I mean, you could maybe put him in the Fantasyland would be the only other place that could work. But that's already stuffed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
They would have to lose, like, well, we're not going to get into the retheming of Fantasyland right now.
No.
But yeah, that is his natural spot over there, his natural habitat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we shall see how it goes. Next news item. Oogie Boogie Bash for 2023 dates and pricing announced. So Oogie Boogie Bash will take place on select nights starting September 5th through Halloween, October 31st. Pricing ranges from $134 to $189. Gosh. Depending on the date. Oogie Boogie Bash, a Disney Halloween party, is at DCA each fall. Historically, the party has included attractions such as Villains Grove, the Headless Horseman, Frightfully Fun Parade, Treat Trails, Mickey's Trick and Treat Dance Party, and photo opportunities. All lands within the park remain open during the Halloween party, including Adventures Campus. There's going to be meet and greets, of course. Let's see. The tickets go on sale. It doesn't say when they go on sale. I think at the end of June is when they do. But typically you can get in there like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The party starts at 6 and goes to 11. Parking is separate. Okay. That actually is all the news we have for right now. So, yeah, I mean, of course, this is no shocking surprise. It comes every year. I wish it was at Disneyland. Because I've gone to this a couple times at DCA, and I've gone to the Disneyland version, and I just kind of get bored around 8 o'clock. I'm like, this stuff really appeals to me. But if at Disneyland, I think I'd have a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, if you're going to go this year, anyone, please do. It's worth going once or twice. Villains Grove is something else. That is something else for sure. Okay. That's going to wrap up the news. And now let's go over to our feature presentation.
And now for our feature presentation.
Ooh, okay, the feature presentation. So today we are going to talk about some cool things coming to the Disneyland Resort. I guess from now on, when I say the Disneyland Resort, that encompasses Disneyland, Downtown Disney, and DCA.
Yeah.
I suppose. I don't know why.
I think more and more they've been wanting to make it that.
Yeah.
And you're finally capitulating.
Okay. So, Oogie.
Yep.
I got a bad feeling about this.
So, one thing before we go into it, I'd been thinking about it, and I had this discussion with Mark about a lot of the topics that we talk about, a lot of the things that come up with the company, Disney Corp, not Disneyland. And I think, one of the things that I maybe am going to say that I'm not always clear about, or I haven't been as clear as I should have been, is we're always going to be critical of the park and the corporation, because that's what we are. We're going to be honest. Mark, that's what Mark says every show. We're an honest podcast, and we do. One thing that I want to make sure that I'm abundantly clear about is when I'm being critical, especially when it comes to Disney Corp, I'm going to be very, very critical of Disney Corp because I think they deserve it. I think there are a lot of things that they have done and are doing that deserve critique and deserve my opinion and my ire at moments. But I also want to make sure that that I make a very good delineation between that and my love for the park. So my love for Disneyland and the park, Disneyland, the park, hasn't waned ever. There's been moments in time where it hasn't been a priority. There's been moments in time where I've been kind of disappointed or let down, but because we love that place so much. It's almost like you don't get angry at it. You're just like, oh man, I wish that was better, because you can see it better. So my love for Disneyland is never going to wane. It has never waned. It has never stopped. It has been always, there have been ups and downs.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away from it. Mm-hmm. So I just want to make sure that I don't always clarify. There's moments and times where I assume people know what I'm thinking, and that's always been some of my problems. Like while I'm talking, it's like, you know what I'm thinking, right? And a lot of people look at me and go like, no. I'm like, okay, I need to explain further. So I guess I just want to take this moment in time to go look. The park is in flux. Disneyland, Disney Corp, and I think I'm going to do that more from here on out. I'm going to try to, when I'm talking about Disney corporate, I'm going to try to make sure I say Disney Corp. So you guys, so I'm being utterly clear when I'm being critical or talking or whatever about Disney corporate, that's what I'm directing it to. It isn't to Disneyland. I want to separate those two. I want to make those their own entities because they really, really are. So when it comes to Disneyland, the park will always have a special place in my heart, and my love for the park has never waned. It will always remain. It will always remain a special place in my heart, and it is a place I will go to again. Jay brought up a really good point last time, and honestly, Jay helped spark this off in my brain.
Go, Jay.
Yeah. Thank you, Jay. That I do need to go back to the park. I do need to reconnect. And It has been over a year for me, which is, to me, is a very, very long time. And that's why I even made a comment. I'm like, man, it's really weird for me to say it's been a year and a half. And I'm like, man, I have not had that kind of a lack other than the COVID shutdown portion. Yeah. It's been years. The couple of years before COVID, we were rocking that park every other month. We were there all the time. And so, like I said, my love for the park isn't going anywhere. My critiques of the park are just going to be those because of the love of the park. And my critiques of Disney Corporate are going to be, honestly, they're going to be pretty severe because I think Disney Corporate right now is messing up a ton of things. Mm-hmm. It's going to affect the park, and I think maybe that's why I get a little bit more upset because I think they're messing up things that a place that is so dear to me.
Yeah, yeah. And
dear to so many people that I know, and it has facilitated me meeting so many amazing people that I get a little I get a little protective. We all do. Yeah, we all do. And we all get a little protective. We get a little angry. We get a little like, hey man, you're messing with family. And a lot of us, we love our family. And so anyway, I just want to make sure that you guys, that I'm being utterly clear that when I'm being critical of Disney Corporate, I think they deserve it, and I'm going to remain that, and that's not going to stop. But it does not take away from Disney, my love for Disney or Disneyland. So I'm going to do better to try to just make sure that when I'm being critical at Disney Corp, I'm pointing at my both barrels, figuratively, at Disney Corp.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah. And then on to the good stuff, because the other part of it too is we need happier things. The world is a crazy place, man, that we're living in. And Mark and I often have a discussion about the world we live in, and that plays into Disneyland too. It's our escape.
Yeah.
So we need to keep it happy. We need to keep it positive. So that's why we're talking about what we're going to talk about, because it's the future. It's looking forward. It's having hope. Yes. And having that ability to believe in a better future.
For sure.
Yeah.
That being said, Udi and I will start talking about our top 10 things we hate at Disneyland right now.
Yeah. So let me
joking. No, joking.
Way to drag it down.
No. Well said, Udi. Yeah, well said. So we're going to go over some all the construction things that we know about.
Yeah.
And try to talk about what we're looking forward to.
Yeah.
The first item, and I don't know if I wrote this from park to park or so. I'm not sure what order these are going to come in. We're just going to read it as we go. Adventureland Treehouse in Disneyland. Tarzan Treehouse in Disneyland's Adventureland is currently closed for retheming. Disney has revealed that the attraction will pay tribute to the original treehouse Walt Disney and his Imagineers built in 1962. for the movie Swiss Family Robinson. It will return in a fresh new way at Disneyland Park later this year.
Yeah. So these are the things. This one right here, I think, is Disney's doing right.
Sure.
Because they're going back and they're recognizing, the commonality. There's a thread that's going to hold generations together. Mm-hmm. Okay. And we know that storytelling and Iger has been often now with it being the 100th anniversary. I've heard of many a presentation of him basically saying, we've been telling stories for 100 years, and he's not wrong. That's accurate. That's very true. And the way that we convey ideas, humanity, we convey ideas and our histories in stories. Mm-hmm. So for them to maintain this, I thought, because we talked about it before. I mean, Jess was like, oh, it's got to be Encanto. And we went back and forth, and you can probably find our debate. I forgot what episode it was, where we kind of went back and forth on what it could be.
Well, she said Encanto. You both thought you were
like, no. We didn't think it held, Encanto hasn't elevated itself to
it. It hasn't earned it yet.
Correct. So for them to go back, and some people may go like, hey, man, it's going back. I'm like, no, but that's okay. Mm-hmm. Holding homage to a foundation of where of how you got there is highly appropriate for me.
Sure.
We're standing on the shoulders of very successful people. When we go to the park, you got to realize how many people worked and created and built. And think about them.
Well, I think about that every time.
Yeah.
I know you do. A lot of people don't, though, I would imagine.
No, they don't, because I don't think they fully... We have a different affinity for the park because we go into history. You and I, we go into history. We look at history not only, we look at history, then we also look forward, like, well, what does that mean for this and this? We're always constantly trying to think about what's going on and theming and how does this fit into the legacy that Walt created and all those things. These are all the things that we talk about in the park. We obviously have a whole podcast we've been doing now for 7 years where we talk about this. So for them to do this, I'm like, good. Great, fantastic. It's perfect because you're holding a pillar to where you began. Yeah, and that's great. I always say, like, how do we know how far we've come if we don't know where we began? And that applies to humanity in general.
Yeah.
And so Walt said that the park would always never be finished. It would always be evolving. And I concur to that 100%.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that we can just erase the past as we're going. We can't erase our footsteps just because, we're just going to erase them.
Right.
So I'm super happy. And this is actually going to get me back in. Once this reopens, I'm going to go walk it. I haven't walked it
for sure.
So many years because it's like, okay, it's the same one. And when they redid it Tarzan's, I'm like, okay, cool. And I walked it because I wanted to see what they did.
Yep.
And so now that they did this, I'm like, I want to go back because I will guarantee that it'll bring back my childhood memories. And having that nostalgia, having that having that connectivity to where we came from, to where we're going. Anytime they do stuff like this, I'm like, on board 1,000,000%. Like, let's go. Yeah.
Awesome. Further on this, the Adventureland Treehouse will show wondrous new environments created amongst the branches of a giant tree on the shores of the Jungle River. Guests will also be able to enter by the giant water wheel and go up the wood rope stairways into the tree. Yeah. So
the concept art, I'm like, oh man, that looks amazing.
Yeah. Inside the treehouse, you will find rooms that the family created in this new story. The mother will have a music den, the son a nature room, the daughter an astronomer's loft. All these things are made with found objects, natural resources, and pure ingenuity. Mm-hmm. I think this is great for there's everything about this to me is wonderful. Not only does it improve the sight line, even at night when this thing's glowing in the distance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Yep.
Yeah, but this is a great thing if you were the kids and maybe they've got a lot of extra energy.
Yeah, let them go.
Let them just run up around here and do things, and you can go up there too, of course, but it's great for kids to have this tactile thing. They can just pull on things and climb on things and push things and explore. Oh, man.
Well, you brought up the sight line, and then it made me flash back to at night. Cause you said at night, and I went, "Holy crap!" And and then that made me really think, like, it's crazy how many people, and we do it often too, that we float right by that. I mean, we haven't had it, open for a while now.
Right.
Sadly, we've all kind of gotten accustomed to having some kind of screaming or something around it. Mm-hmm. But it made me remember what it was to be walking by there at night and seeing the glow of it. And it being up above and being high. And then you're like, man, it just adds an air of like mystery, but yet like just it expands the world that you're in. I mean, you're going through an area that's kind of tight right there, but you go up and it kind of just adds another dimension to the world. We always talk about how elevating and coming up will give you a different point of view. Yeah. And I forgot how cool that was to be up that high, up higher, and then seeing the world below you.
Absolutely. Good point. And even going back to what Gare Bear said about Splash Mountain, like those orange colors, heck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know exactly what he's talking. Even at night when you're on, Mark Twain or whatever, and you go, oh, what is that orange? You know what it is, but what is that orange mountain over there?
Yeah, and you can also point back to the same thing applies to thunder. I mean, the way they light and backlight thunder, it just has that feeling of like this glowing like entity.
Yeah.
And for them to do those kind of things just adds this like sense of wonder to the whole thing.
It does. Yeah. And on that same realm, I know we're getting waxing nostalgia here, but when you're on Mark Twain, you can just look over the railroad tracks over in Galaxy's Edge and see these bluish green spires of rock, and think, what the hell is over there?
Yeah. I mean, when they add to it, I mean, that is one of the. See, this is where these are the things that make Disneyland so different from the other parks. Understanding sightlines. Also, if you don't know, going into how important maintaining sightlines was to Walt.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many things that happened and didn't happen only to maintain a sightline. Yeah. For no other reason than, no, you can't do that. Why? Because it's in the sightline. A lot of people are like, so? But no, you don't realize that it affects the whole thing. Yeah. It pulls you out of the world if the sightlines are messed up.
Oh, right.
And understanding that, and oh man, these are the intangibles that some people, the casual park goer doesn't get. These are the intangibles, like, oh, I get this sense, like I often say there's things that you walk into and you don't always have the words to describe why you feel at home or why you have that sense of magic or why you just feel connection to an area. And you can't always verbalize it, like, and you may not even know. But these are all the little tidbits that kind of apply to that. Like I talk about the first time I went to Catalina. Like I hadn't been to Catalina. I'd flown over Catalina. And I got there, and the sight lines that I saw, like I connected to the place instantaneously. But I had already had enough with my experience about going to the park. I understood what was going on. Like in my mind, I'm like, oh, I love it here because of this. I could, point it out. That is fantastic. Same thing applies with the park. And what adds to the park is that this is all man-made.
Yep.
I'm talking Catalina as an island,
Sure.
But the park is all man-made, sitting in the middle of the city. So when you apply those factors into it, I don't know how their minds aren't blown.
I know. I knew. Yeah. All right. Next news item, Downtown Disney District transformation to conclude over the next 18 months at Disneyland Resort. First announced at Destination D23 in 2021, the Downtown Disneyland District reimagining has slowly progressed over the past couple years. Now, Disneyland Resort President Ken Patrak has revealed that the new and enhanced retail and dining offerings will arrive in the next 18 months at the end of 2024. The Downtown Disney District at Disneyland Resort is currently undergoing a transformation that includes several new shops, restaurants on the way. New spaces set to be constructed or inspired by the mid-century space age look, which is incredibly popular in California during the 50s and 60s.
Love it.
We've heard about plenty of these new outlets thus far, such as the award-winning Din Tai Fung, which serves Chinese food, including bao, wontons, and more. Other outlets on the way include the beloved Porto's Bakery.
Man, the way Jay talks about both of those, I'm like, oh, you really can't wait now.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to finish this. Then I'll get to that.
Yeah.
And a new permanent home for Earl's Sandwich. Currently, the sandwich shop sits in the former home of the La Brea Bakery, which will be the site of Porto's in the near future. Yeah, of course, Uva and Catal being demolished has also happened, and there's a new version of the Jazz Kitchen, which we talked about with Jay last time. Don't need to rehash that. But I had to look at Porto's Bakery because I guess here in Northern California, we don't have that. I mean,
No.
I would have heard of it.
Yep.
But I did look at the site. I'm thinking, okay, I don't want. What's this doing to serve cakes? No, they've got some really cool looking things that I go, oh, we will be going there.
We will be going.
Yes.
Yep.
A little quick update on this is that I heard just recently this week is that they said 18 months. The target date is Thanksgiving 2024.
Cool.
So that's a long time, dude.
Well, let me constructing retail space and restaurant space is a different animal than home construction or building a show building, like, building a big metal frame with concrete walls. It's a different animal.
I'm sure they've got more codes to go through, right?
They do.
Okay.
I mean, the codes that I have to go through are, I'll put it that way. I'll just give that sigh of like, But anyway. But it is a long time, but I think the importance is going to be looking at the sketch, at the concept art. It's a full redo of the area.
Sure.
And I'm so excited for that because not only are they redoing it because I think it's been overdue for a while. Or at least at some level, some kind of a rehab, a repaint or something of the general vibe of Downtown Disney. Downtown Disney to me has always been cool. I've always enjoyed Downtown Disney.
Me too.
Never a thing of like, yeah, we can always like, I don't like that shop, blah, blah, but that has nothing to do with the area.
Right.
And the setup. They're great. So when they announced that, I was kind of like, okay. And then the concept art that we talked about a few times now, I think it's amazing.
Yes.
I think it's exactly what the area needs. And what I enjoy about it is that the fact they're going to go into an area of time like that 50s, 60s, like you look at them like, dude, that is so cool. And then the other thing that I'm more is that they're going to come back to having like music and having like that stage area, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, I don't always stop to listen to music because I'm not always going to like it, but the fact that that's there, music filling the area, live music, there's something about live music that most of us as human beings can connect with.
Yep.
Even if we don't like the music,
Yeah.
we can still connect with it. And there's people enjoying live music. There's something about that, and it just adds an air of just fun and connectivity with the people around you. And for that to be going on there, I think is great. Not to mention the grassy area. It just adds this very warm and welcoming kind of feel to it. If they get like 60 to 70% of what they have in this concept art, it's going to be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Just like you said,
Totally.
I've always liked Downtown Disney. I've complained about the prices on a few things for the meals,
Always.
but every meal I've had down there has been great for me.
I can't complain about one. Oh, Earl's sandwich. It was only.
I've never eaten there.
I have, and it was just meh. It wasn't like
Yeah.
anything exciting. It wasn't bad.
Right. Yeah. But I love Tortilla Joe's. Of course, people will say, well, you can go 10 minutes down the street and get better Mexican food. Yeah, I'm sure you can. But we're talking about staying within Downtown Disney. Yeah. So if I don't want to go 10 minutes down the road and eat within Downtown Disney, it's going to be fine for me. I've eaten at the Uva Bar. Took the girls our last time, and I thought that was really good. But now I'm curious to see what that's going to be like.
Uva Bar, I always liked it. It was good.
Yeah, Splitsville, it was really good food.
It wasn't bad.
Black Tap is really good food.
Really good.
I guess Eric, that's one of his staples now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You've eaten at the, is it Ballast Point over there? Yeah, you've eaten at Ballast Point. I've not eaten there. And I'm not eating at Catal. So those that, or Jazz Kitchen. So there's a few I need to catch up on, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm just stoked that they're doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So all this work on the resort's entertainment, shopping, and dining hub is merely one portion of a larger plans connected to the Disneyland Forward initiative, a multi-year public planning effort alongside the city of Anaheim. It's stated that its purpose is to update existing development approvals to promote future expansion, development, and investment for Disney in Anaheim. Not too many details besides the normal artist concept that they doled out like a year and a half ago. Nothing really much has been happening as far as that goes, except they are doing local meetings coming up soon. So, again, go to DisneylandForward.com and check that out.
I think whenever we talked about it before, I'm going to bring it up again, or I'm going to reiterate what I said before. Please, go check that out.
Yeah.
Please look at what that is, and I think right there is the future of that area.
Oh yeah.
I think Disney has to get this going. I think for the future of the park, with everything that's going on right now with Universal and I mean, I don't know how many people, like for me, I'm thick in the weeds with this, understanding the business aspect of like what Disney's going through right now, what they have on their slate to get done versus what's going on in Universal parks and everything else and all that. Like I'm just in that all the time. We said it before when this came up a year and a half ago that this looked amazing. Like, this is a great idea. This is a great concept.
Yeah.
The only thing, the main thing that has been getting in the way has been the red tape.
Yep.
So the way I feel, and I'm going to keep on saying it, is you guys go check it out. Mm-hmm. Get informed about what the plan is. And if you so feel inclined, support it however you can. You
Sure.
know? You know, if you hear about it, talk about it. Just talk about it. Like, have you seen Disney Forward? Like, if you have other fans of the park that you know that have no idea about Disney Forward, bring it up to them. The more we talk about this, the more we kind of put the weight of the consumer behind it. Like, yes, get this done. Mm-hmm. I think it's a positive incentive for Disney to move forward on these things, especially right now with the difficulties that Disney Corp is having.
Yeah.
This would be good. This is a good positive thing that could move everybody forward in a better direction.
Yep.
You know,
Even the city of Anaheim.
exactly. I think regardless of the governmental agencies and everything, I think this is a win-win for everybody. I think not only will it be a win for the city of Anaheim, the county of Orange County, the people, definitely the residents, the working, the taxation, then it's definitely a plus for Disney Corp. Mm-hmm. Definitely. And it's also great for just us.
Yeah.
The people who want to go to the park.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. It's weird. If you zoom, if you look at the previous picture of Downtown Disney, of what artist concept we have here, which has like the lawn and the bandstand that looks like a guitar pick with a monorail going over it. And then you go to the main picture of Disneyland Forward, and you zoom into where that is going to be. That concept art does not look like anything that I'm seeing here. So the concept art is going to change dramatically over that. Of course. So I hope that what we get is more of akin to the other picture than the Disneyland Forward. And again, this isn't what they're doing. This is just what is possible. And what is possible just blows me away. Gosh, imagine getting the eggs going from Pooh's Corner over into like a new land out there.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
No, we talked about it. That opens up all that back. You think about, oh, man.
Yeah.
The potentiality for what that can do for Disneyland and us as fans of the park.
Yeah.
I don't think you can quantify yet.
No, you can't. Holy cow. It's going to be awesome. Oh, it's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah, no, that's why I'm saying everybody needs to kind of get behind that and look at it and go like, and like I said, if you feel like, yeah, this is what needs to get done, like I said, just inform yourself, let other people know, and and I always say that if Disney reaches out to you through some survey or whatever, let them know.
Yeah.
Speak your mind.
Speak your mind. Okay, next news item is, we talked about this last time, but I was just going to go over it real quick. Disney's Pixar Place Hotel transformation to be complete this winter. Again, we talked about this being announced in D23 last year. The reimagining of the hotel will weave the artistry of Pixar into its contemporary setting. Guests will gain a new perspective on some of their favorite Pixar worlds and characters through carefully curated artwork. The decor that reveals the creative journey of the artists who help bring these stories to life.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't even know what that's supposed to... supposed to be that means. But we talked about this last time. I'm not going to go beyond it, but I'm glad they're doing this. One thing I did learn over the last week was that they're getting a new restaurant there. Those of you in the Southern California area will know it as the Great Maple. And that is a win, a huge win for Disneyland to get a restaurant like that. It's a wonderful breakfast, lunch spot with really good desserts. I don't know they serve dinner, but I imagine they will have to serve dinner at this one. So the Great Maple coming into Pixar Place Hotel. Yeah. A little update on Tiana's Bayou Adventure. What's that?
What is that?
They are going to be having 17 original characters and dozens of new audio animatronic figures. The colossal scope of and ambition for the upcoming Tiana's Bayou Adventure attraction at both parks is coming to full view, as several major announcements were made regarding the content that will comprise the storytelling and ambiance for this ride. 17 original audio animatronic characters will be featured, along with multiple Tiana audio animatronics throughout the experience, and the appearance of other recognizable characters from the Princess and the Frog film. Princess and the Frog film. Yes, not Princess and the Frog. Including Louis and Mama Odie. Prince Naveen's brother Ralphie is among some of the new humans to appear, though his new ensemble will also be featuring countless animals native to the Louisiana landscape. The cue and attraction music is being arranged by award-winning artists P.J. Morton and Terrence Blanchard, who will mix classic songs from the movie with New Orleans classics and original compositions. The scent of beignets is also set to be pumped throughout the queue, along with original new animated content from Walt Disney Animation Studios to enhance the atmosphere. Coming in 2024. Great. Yeah.
Yeah. My one critique that I've been after looking at and reading is Louis, brother's name. I'm like, you couldn't you got Naveen, and then you go to Louis. I don't know. For a new character, this is my only concern, because we've seen it play out with Galaxy's Edge, is that you're going to introduce new characters and we're not going to know them. That's my only worry. Is like, who's that kid? Like the brother for Naveen. I'm like, we don't know that guy.
Right.
So I'm hoping, I'm going to have faith and believe they're going to be able to introduce him at a level that we get. The one thing that is different from this one to Galaxy's Edge is that you have a captive audience when you're walking through the queue.
Sure.
I'm anticipating, much in Disney fashion, they're going to be telling the story in the queue if you're paying attention.
Yep.
So you mark my words, our first ride, we're going to be looking at everything.
Sure.
And I hope I'm going to have faith that they're going to tell the story about who this kid is, the brother, and how this all plays in. Because it's going to be integral. If he's going to be a new character into the attraction, then okay, cool. But we need to know about him. We need to figure out, are we going to connect? Do we like this guy? Do we hate this kid? Where are we at with this one? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's why, that's the one thing that it makes me kind of go like, why didn't they I would have been fine with them retelling the movie, because then, but I also get where they're going. So that's my one critique / concern is okay, just let's make sure that the characters that they're introducing, that we get a good introduction to, so we can connect better with the attraction while we're on it. So that doesn't take away me anyway going I don't want to, whatever, this attraction is dumb. That's not it. It's just me going, okay, well, I want to know. I want to know that what this character is about, and so I can, so I can do my best to connect with and then I can give it a fair judgment of if I like it or I don't. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. My only hope about all this thing is that I hope when we go to it, I can look at it with an open mind. And not my own personal preferences. They shouldn't have done this as Splash Mountain. I want to be okay, this is what it is. Let me look at it for art's sake. Let me see what they've done. But I will tell you, I'm going to be struggling internally, thinking, this is Splash Mountain, man.
So that is where I'm curious, because how much are we going to, and we won't know until first ride. So, right. I don't know. We are who we are. I think we're gonna walk in with a critical eye, but not critical eye in a sense that it's gonna be a negative. We're gonna be looking for things to not like.
Yeah.
But I think we're also going to be looking at a very critical point of view, just trying to take in and see if we're connecting, like I said, connecting to what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
So if you remove, you're removing one that we've connected very deeply with, and that's been around for years and years and decades now, a couple decades. There's a lot of history, and there's a lot of things that connect people to an attraction. So
Yeah.
you're going to now take that out and then put something in. Then I want to make sure that they're doing everything they can so we can reconnect back into that area.
Oh, yeah.
That would be, I think to me, that's whenever when they do things like this, that's always where I get a little like, oh, because what if, the what if, the unknown of like, is it going to be any good? Am I going to connect? Am I going to have those same feelings and emotions that I did with Splash? Am I going to have it with Tiana's? I don't know. And we're not going to know for another year and a half at the minimum. So we're going to have those questions in our head until we get that answer when we go there. So I already know in my mind, I'm going to be critical. I know, Mark, if we actually both wind up riding together for the first time, I know you and I will be talking back and forth almost the entire time.
Yes.
In the queue, and then we'll probably just take the attraction as we go and then talk about it when we get off. But in the queue, I know we're going to be chirping back and forth like, what about this? And what about that? And this is here and this.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah, no, I fully see that this is going to happen. But
yeah.
So I mean, like I said, I hope they do. I'm going to put my faith in the Imagineering. I'm going to put my faith in what they're doing, and that we're going to be able to do that. And I hope to be able to connect to at the same level. It will never. The reality is, for me, I will never connect to this one probably as I did with Splash.
No.
And because it has that history all the way back to pre-Splash. So there's no way it's going to get replaced ever.
Right,
ever. And it's not like I'm mad about that.
No.
It's just the reality of it.
Do you remember a time before Splash Mountain?
Vaguely, but yeah.
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 Yep, I do too.
Yeah.
Just going back there thinking there's nothing back here.
Yeah. Like you walk over there and you're like, okay, what's over here? Oh, no.
Right.
Yeah.
It's probably, I don't know, 10 or 11. But
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways. Okay, this is the last item we have here. Yeah, the last item is San Francisco concept art. Yeah, so this is happening. This is coming up. To me, besides just a retheming of the landscaping, I think that all this is going to be great. I think it's going to look wonderful. I don't know, honestly, and maybe I've missed it, but I don't know what new restaurants are coming here. I think it's just a retheme, guessing, and I know there's going to be a meet and greet for Baymax or something. Mm-hmm. That's supposed to open up this summer.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be really cool to see. But again, I don't know what restaurants are, and I've repeated myself 4 times now, what's new here besides just the theming. Have you heard anything?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. We talked about that, and I remember. Oh, I bet you we can find it. I bet I can go back into our notes and maybe even find it. But there are mainly rethemes. I don't recall. I want to say maybe one.
Maybe one, because really what they're doing is they're retheming this food court area. It really is, is what it is.
And the bridge and that whole...
And the bridge, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's going to look cool, and I'm glad.
Oh, yeah.
So it was Big Hero 6, is that Disney or Pixar or Marvel?
Pixar.
Okay. I guess we can look at that too. So Udi's looking at it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, another theming thing that I think the real winners are going to be, the Imagineers and designers who are thinking, cool, we get to do some really cool stuff. But I think it's going to add a really nice element to the park. Although I think the area before was fine, but this actually makes it a lot better. I wonder if they're going to make a part 2 to the movie or something. I wonder if they're doing this. No? Okay.
I haven't heard anything.
But I mean, nothing wrong with this. I think it's great. And I'm glad that they can do this sort of thing in DCA. Again, remember we talked about that. That's one of the strengths of DCA is that you can start being really, really creative there, and no one's really going to argue too much because it isn't, the sacred land that Disneyland is. Mm-hmm. But I think it's great. I mean, no particular ties to the movie or to the Pacific Wharf area and I just like, yeah, cool.
No, I mean, and the thing is, the idea behind it, I thought, is very clever, especially with the area that it's going into. You know? Yeah. It's Pixar Pier.
Sure.
Yeah. And I mean, if you guys haven't seen this movie, I like it. I really like it. It's one of the good. I'm pretty sure it's Pixar.
Okay. Awesome. So that was really all the known construction projects we have going on. We talked about the few things going on in Disneyland, Downtown Disney as well, and DCA. If you can think of something else that's happening, please let us know. We'll do some research on it and discuss it. But everything is, designed to make the park better, the guest experience better, hopefully, and all of that is great. Of course, we have Toontown that just happened as well. So hopefully, once this year's done, 2024 comes along, maybe they might start talking about, enhancements for Tomorrowland or maybe even Galaxy's Edge, which might already need it.
Well, yeah and no.
Okay. Besides the timeline lock.
Yeah, no. I mean that's really the only issue. Oh no, it's just clear. It's a Disney Animation Studios.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Disney Animation. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I hope. I mean, that's one of the things that we're always looking forward to or hoping that we're going to continue to see the expansion and growth. Like I said, talking about, Disney Forward. But, yeah, definitely going back and we are not shy about our opinion about Tomorrowland and how it's been 20 years in overdue. Well, at the bare minimum, 12. Overdue for something to happen there.
It's been well over 20 years.
Yeah. The opportunity is great. And you want to know? I was listening to a YouTube channel, and they were talking about IPs, and they were bringing up many of the... I'm like, oh, my gosh, these guys sound like me, because they're talking about IP.
Oh.
And they're talking about IP and what and how that can relate to Disney and how Disney has been going back into the well, doing the live reaction remakes with Little Maid coming out this last week or so. And I was kind of like, yeah. And then somebody brought it up, and I kind of went like, holy cow, that would be perfect for them to do.
What was that?
The black hole. but updating it.
Sure.
So for everybody who doesn't know, the black hole was that goes when I was like, whoo.
Yeah, it's been decades since I've seen that.
If you go into the black hole, it was like sci-fi, super kitschy sci-fi. Mm-hmm. And I think it would play great. And it made me, and I haven't done it yet. I'm going to go home and hopefully it's still on Disney Plus when I go back because they're cutting content. But I'm going to keep my fingers crossed on that one if it's still there. Mm-hmm. That could solve. Because I've been talking about, blah, blah, blah. And they released a movie. What was it? Craters or something like that? Yeah, Craters. And it was about kids going out, going out on an adventure to find this place. And it was actually a pretty cool little movie. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
It's definitely meant for younger kids, but it still had it was a good kind of like a group bonding, which I always dig those kind of movies.
Yeah.
But it also had a very serious tint, and the way it ended was kind of serious. But it was really well done, I thought. And that's what I was like, oh man, imagine if they brought back and they updated the black hole. And then they own that. They could tent pole that right there.
Yeah.
And that would apply to so many things. And I'm like, and then that made my mind go, I'm like, oh my God, that's a brilliant idea.
Yes.
Like I was sitting there going, that's brilliant. Oh my God, and Disney owns that. They don't have to buy it. They don't have to do anything. All they need to do is develop it. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
My mind was like, boom. I'm like, anyway, you guys, for all of you who don't know, go. If you guys like old school kitschy sci-fi, go look it up.
Look it up.
Yeah, it makes me going to go watch it tonight probably now.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah.
Well, awesome. Okay, so this is going to wrap up episode number 175. Before we go, I do want to mention that a friend of the show, he's been on once, but he's been on many other shows, and that's Jim Corcus, having some medical issues. Don't know what it is, but he does have a GoFundMe set up. I'm going to post that on Instagram once this show goes live. So do consider looking at it. I don't know he donated a few bucks to help him with his cause. I don't know what the issues are, but Jim Korkis is one of those Disney historians that has kept the torch lit for decades on Walt Disney and the history of the parks. And believe it or not, one of the only few people I know that can out-talk Oogie.
True.
And it's like, okay.
But then also, I don't want to talk when he's talking because I'm like, nope. Open brain.
Yeah.
Absorb as much as you can.
Yep. So we'll post that on Instagram. So just keep that in the back of your mind.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and
Definitely.
prayers, for sure. Okay, so to learn more about the show, you can go to Instagram at Leaving Today Podcast. All of our information's there. I try to post something once a week there, maybe twice, depending on what's going on. But that's a great way to get a hold of us. Also, send us an email at info@leavingtodaypodcast.com. And go to our website at, you guessed it, leavingtodaypodcast.com. So, we hope to do a live show coming up soon. And that is that. Udi, where can people find more information about you?
Okay, you can find me on my other podcast, The Mando Show. We have not had another new episode drop since our 100th. We're going to get back on that.
You guys wait until August?
No. We're gonna we have other shows in the pipeline. We just haven't been able to get together. Even it was crazy just to get to the 100th.
Oh, I understand.
How many scheduling. So you can find me there. It's the Mando Show, and we talk about Star Wars over there. And then and that one is with my brother, my good friend Chad, and then Joe, my good friend Joe. So we do that over there. Then you can find me on my socials, which are HAXGOALIE, and that is both on Instagram and Twitter because Twitter's fun again. So yeah, you can find me there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, listeners, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, this morning, this evening, however it is you're doing it. We very much appreciate it. Again, if you'd like to support the show, you can go to our website and go to the Patreon logo. Make it simple, $1, $3, and $5, and you get to be on the show, and you get some cool swag. All right. We hope you guys are doing well. We love you. Adventure is out there, and we'll see you in the parks.
See ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Disneyland is now ended its normal operating day. We hope you enjoyed your visit to the Magic Kingdom and that the memories you've made will bring you back again soon.
Hey, dummy, you're stupid.
No, I will give you one.
You have to give me two.
Nope.
One from the back. Ow, you hurt. Let go of me. Not that one. Pick a different one. God, you're so slow.
Kitty.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
Boy, was my face red.